I've just imported this image of a hoverfly's head into Capture One, ready to do my editing. I choose Capture One, but you could just as easily use Lightroom and Photoshop to achieve the same results. So the fly has got lots of dirt and dust on its eye, in the hairs on its front leg here. There's some highlights that maybe we wanted to reduce here. If I zoom into 100%, bit of dust there, bit of dirt here. Pollen, could choose to get rid of that. There's this artifact here that's been created as a result of stacking the image in Zarine Stacker. We want to get rid of that. There's this bit of a mess on its eye here. We could try and correct that. There's this area here where the fly's eye has deteriorated. We'll try and correct that. And then these highlights that have bled into this darker area here, we could try and fix that. We also want to try and give the image a bit more punch. At the moment it's quite flat. Now we could do that in Capture One, could spend, I don't know, half an hour or so trying to make it look as nice as possible. But to save time, I really rate an application called Aurora HDR. So I will edit that image there in Capture One, edit a copy of it in Aurora HDR. Capture One will take a copy of it and then it will start up Aurora HDR. You'll then be presented with this screen in Aurora HDR. Click, I always choose remove the chromatic aberration, create HDR. Okay, Aurora HDR has given us a much punchier image just by using automatic settings. What we can do also is we can, I mean, that's quite vibrant, that is, isn't it? Or quite saturated. I'm just going to knock that down a touch. I'm going to maybe knock that down a touch. I'm going to create a layer. And then I'm just going to choose this preset called HDR Look 1, which, okay, it's gone way over the top, but I can reduce the amount by adjusting this slider here. And I think I'm going to go with that. I'm going to export that back to Capture One, back to the location that I sent it from, again as a TIFF file, and click Export. It says it's already there, but that's good because I know it's already there. I'll overwrite it. Annoyingly, it doesn't tell you that it's completed that, but if we just go back to Capture One, we can see that obviously it has. So I will close down Aurora. Now we have, that's the original, that's the version from Aurora. Now is the job of trying to tidy up all of these bits of dust and everything else. The tools that we're mainly using here are the healing brush and the clone brush. So we've got, there's the healing brush and there's the clone brush. For most of this work, I will probably be using the healing brush. That seems to work best. Where I probably use the clone brush is anything within this blue area, such as removing the, I don't know, that bit of pollen there, tidying up that little bit of a halo there, and so on. Within the main body of the, or the main body of the head of the fly, the healing brush I'm sure will work best. To create a healing brush layer, we on the keyboard press Control Alt H, press Q for the healing brush, zoom in to 100% on the image, and we'll start off by trying to remove these I don't know, bits and pieces on this part of the fly here. Press the Alt key down, the cursor will change from two circles with a plus inside it to a crosshair. Mark the area you want to sample from, and then just paint over the artifact, and pretty much it's gone. Do the same that here. We'll do the same there. just work our way around. Next we'll move to the eye. So we've got all these pieces of dust here on the eye. So mark the area you want to sample from. So press Q for the healing brush and just paint over that there. Now it might be that we can move that and we need to just get that so it just fits. Yep. Just perfectly in there. And again, just work our way around, mark the sample point, paint over. If you want to zoom in a bit more to get a bit of a better picture, we can do that. Press the space bar down, move the area of the image to where we want it, and again we can get that just right. We do one more, we'll get that one there and paint over there, get rid of that as well. I'm going to try and remove these few specks here off this hair coming out of the fly's head. So this time I'm going to try the clone brush. So I'll press S, just a little bit smaller. Mark the area where I want to clone from and gently paint over that. Have I got my brush settings here? Right, I've got that set to 50 and 50, near enough. I'm going to bump that up to 100%. Okay, that will do. These areas here, I'm going to use the back to the healing brush. I press Q. Right there, I want to heal from. Paint over that. And the same here. Oops. No. Press H to remove those markers. That looks a lot better. If I just go to 100%, that's a lot better, doesn't it? Next, I'll try and remove this bit of a halo here. So again, I'm going to try the clone brush. Press S, make the brush a bit bigger. I'm going to reduce that down for this one so it's a little bit more gradual. 51 and 51. We'll go from there and I'm going to zoom in a bit more, maybe even a bit more. So we're in at 400% now. That there has picked up a little bit of the hair from there, so I'll move that over. Zoom back to 100%, 200%. Press E through raise, make that a bit smaller, go into 400%, and I think that looks a lot better. I'll now have a try and just remove this area of highlight here. So we'll press Q for the heal brush, make the brush a bit bigger. That's with the right square bracket key. We'll mark where we want to heal from, and I'm not quite sure. Let's try from there. I'll undo that. I need to be a bit more gentle, so I'm going to knock the opacity down to 50%. So the flow's at 50, the opacity's at 50. Again, mark my area. We'll go here. Just choosing different areas to go from and just painting a little bit and just building it up. So press the H to remove those, or you can actually just move the cursor away from the image and they just disappear. So that does look a lot better now. Next thing we'll have a go at is trying to repair this bit of it. This is probably going to be one of the most difficult things to do actually. But we'll have a go at trying to repair this part of the eye. So first off, I'm going to press, in fact, I'm going to create a new healing layer. So I press Control Alt H. As you can see, that's created another healing layer there. Press Q to heal for the heal brush, and we'll start off at the top. Let's start there, and I'm going to change my brush settings, make the opacity 100% again. You see that's got out of alignment slightly, hasn't it? I wonder if it's going to be better to do it from there. Press the Alt key down, mark that area, and we will start from there. Okay, so just a process of working down, and I'll just work my way through that. So this is what I've ended up with. It's not great, and if I zoom out, you can see what looks like just I don't know, a scar down the eye there. But I think there's something I can possibly do that I'll do later on, which I'll show you a little trick. But now we'll try and remove this. If I zoom in on it, this bit of, I don't know, just a bit of skin, doesn't it, or something that's stuck on the fly's hair. So we'll create a new heal layer. Control Alt H and select Q for the brush. And what I'm going to do is take that as my sample point and just paint over that. And we'll see if we can make any of that fit. I reckon about there looks realistic. Yeah, you wouldn't know it was there now. We're going 100% and you wouldn't really know it was there. Next thing to show you, just zoom into 200% and move it down slightly. These purple dots here, we need to get rid of those. Q for the heal brush, and we'll select an area to sample from, which will go from there, and just start painting over that. Yeah, make sure we got it lined up properly. Oops, no. I think that will do, and the same here. Right, and you would never know that was there, would you? So I think I've shown you all the different types of healing and cloning, so I'm just going to spend another few hours going through and tidying everything up. So repair to the eye there, pretty good, but not good enough. See if we can try and make it better. What we can do is create a physical copy of that edited image and then edit that image. The way we can do that is edit with, choose any program. That will create us a physical copy in Capture One. It'll auto start up Aurora, but we don't need that. So as soon as it starts up, I'll just close it down. Now we can work on this physical copy of that file. Zoom in on the problem area, create another heal layer, Control Alt H, Q for our heal brush, and just go through the whole process again. So we can see that there doesn't look quite right, so I can take that and position. You might need to zoom in more, and this is very laborious, but basically just fix each one at a time, getting it in the right position, erasing, oh gosh, erasing that little bit there, and just going through really slowly, correcting each one at a time where we think we've got a problem. And that's going to take me a little while to do, but that's how you go about doing it. Right, this is the best job I've been able to do on the eye there. A few other things that I have done is I've just bumped up the contrast a little bit. I did bump up the saturation a touch, the brightness a touch, brought in the levels, added a bit of clarity. I also created an adjustment layer, created a radial mask, and just brightened up the center part. Added a little bit of sharpening, as you can see there, and just added a tiny bit of fine grain as well. And that is my final image.